Welcome to another Flash Hour Live as we bring to you the latest and greatest from Flash Trade, of course, as well as State of the Trenches. If you've been here before, we kind of allow some time for people to funnel in. We go over what's happening in the broader Solana ecosystem, as well as what's happening around the crypto sphere. And then we move right into kind of a flash overview, what we got done this week, and then what is coming up next, which is always the janitor's favorite section of the hour. But stick around. We really appreciate you tuning in. If you are already in here, if you don't mind, just to get more people funneled into the Flash Hour Live, we'd appreciate a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Repost to spin up that algo, and I will keep my eye on chat. So GM to everybody. And today we have Zaheb, who will be at the helm with us as we kind of work through this flash hour, as Anas could not join us today. But overall, GM, sir. Yeah, we've got a good one this week, and lot of tech talk. As you know, Zaheb loves to get into the nitty-gritty details, so we'll make sure that this one is quite enjoyable, and I'll try to tease out as much as I can while I have him here of some of the details of the implementations of different things that we're doing here at Flash, and maybe even get into some future insights that we would love to talk about. I know I love to talk about it. I don't know how much everybody else does, but you're stuck with me for this hour. So grab your coffee, sit down, relax, and enjoy a little bit. So AI 2.0 tokens disaster. Saw it on the timeline. Kind of funny, actually. Was Solana Floor had brought it up that there had been some interesting what I don't even really know what to call it, but interesting developments from the AI side of things. It says in new call. There we go. So we'll share this real quick and pop this up on screen. There we go. So here you can see Solana Floor calls AI meta. Solana is turning into a disaster so far. I guess a lot of the tokens are down really bad. In the recent case, initially supporting GAS token, claiming about 300,000 in trading fees. Sheesh. But yeah, so some of the, I would say not some, it looks like most of the AI tokens are down about 90%. I mean, it's rough. I thought that AI bubble would actually collapse a lot faster than it actually did, to be fair. That was something I was worried about right off the bat when I saw all of them ripping 300, 400, 500%. I thought, oh no, the drawdown's going to be brutal. And I was not wrong. So I steered clear well of those. What about you?
Same. I mean, we've had this cycle extend for too long, and I think meme coins and then all of these AI, any meme coin associated to AI, everything's going down.
You saw that too, the meme coins who claim to be AI projects. Oh no, that was savage.
It's people pivoting to make money and pivot to the hottest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pump fun to AI.fun. I think that's just how it plays out.
That is definitely how it seems to play out. Super unfortunate for some out there who got caught up in that. And of course, I apologize. I do not mean to have fun on your behalf, but I saw that coming from a mile away. So thankfully, I stayed well aware or well away from it. Interactive brokers enabled 24/7 funding via USDC. So this is actually something that's coming down the pipeline. It's not live yet, but from what I see, things are ramping up. I mean, plain and simple, this is going to be, this is the way forward. And we're developing and alongside it in real time. If you are unaware, Flash Trade was the first perp DEX to ever offer RWA stocks for perpetual trading on Solana. So we are at the forefront of what is possible with RWA, tokenized stocks. So this will be Interactive Brokers is essentially allowing for pre-post market and weekend market. Am I right on that, Zahib?
Yeah, that's right. But no, maybe the idea for the NYSE going in and or one of their prime brokerages firm kind of supporting the idea of a 24/7 market would perhaps be an on-chain kind of a program that literally works as a decentralized exchange. I don't know how the mechanics of it work, but their idea seems to be instant settlement.
I was about to say it seems like a settlement layer. That's my understanding from the article.
Exactly. So it's interesting. I think they're yet to get approvals from SEC, and they have a full administrative process to make it possible.
Yeah.
But we're getting closer to native on-chain trading experience for U.S. equities and derivatives and stocks. Everything kind of coming on chain. I think that's where we are headed as well.
Yeah, 100%. We're gearing up towards that. As if you just look at our platform right now, you'll see that there is market timing. There are stocks that are specifically available. Even our vaults are built to handle the CME like holidays and stuff like that. So our DEX is already kind of like pre-built and kind of pre-ready for that environment anyway. So we're well ahead of the curve when it comes to adopting RWA style. And interestingly enough, our vaults are pretty well adjusted, I would say, to implementing RWA style tokens. So this is it's gearing up. I'm excited because this is something that we have kind of envisioned and all really wanted, and now it's coming to fruition again. So Solana's RWA token TVL surpasses 1 billion, marking a new all-time high. So RWAs on Solana are absolutely exploding. Now Ondo coming on board as well is pretty big deal. I think it's just the narrative. Solana is going to tokenize everything. It truly is like IBRL, where we truly are bringing everything on chain. I think as of now, I don't see any other chain that is going to compete. Nothing on the horizon that I'm aware of, at least. What are your thoughts on RWAs right now? Seems like Solana is the place.
Solana is definitely the place. I think Remora also had interesting announcements about bringing in tokenized ETFs for a variety of metals, and I think they've got a massive lineup of tokenization of like all different like different vehicles or mechanics that they're gonna bring in. And yeah, ETFs for metals was a first. And on that front, like the asset horizon keeps expanding, and no one would have imagined you would have equities traded on chain a year ago, and here we are today with all of the X stocks and Remora stocks kind of kicking up action.
Yeah.
And even pool two for us, for instance, just the simple addition of gold as a represented metal on the pool has brought in a lot of returns or a lot of positive value for LPs. So I think the RWA horizon is gonna keep pushing, and yeah, we are gonna be the center of it on Solana.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're well positioned to be the epicenter of trading on Solana. So and we're super excited, especially with all the recent developments that we will get into here in a moment. But these are 5 tokenized metals now live on Solana. So gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and copper. that everyone should look forward to potentially coming to the Flash platform. So that is something really cool that happened with Remora Markets. Now, DFlow integrated PreStocks to bring on pre-IPO stocks as well, which is super interesting. We are close with the DFlow team, or at least we're in contact with them. So interesting thoughts on that. What pre-IPO coming on? Tokenized pre-IPO. That's an interesting one I never thought about.
Yeah,
You can
I
get
think
like
similar to how pre-TG
AIX.
tokens. So yeah, or bring those on, and people trading SpaceX and stuff on chain. So that's gonna be interesting. And I think DFlow has been doing good stuff, even with tokenized form of prediction markets from Kalshi,
Mhm.
and the kind of making all of those instruments mainstream. DFlow is really on a roll. So let's see what pre-IPO stocks they kind of bring in, and if there's enough demand, maybe we could create a market on Flash to leverage those as well.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, there's so many opportunities here. The DFlow team, when they first came out, I was actually in there. They had like a janky UI system when they very first came out. I'm talking about like week one, day one, where they had this thing where you would create a wallet on their website, then you'd have to deposit your soul, and then you'd have to uh, stake it or whatever on their platform. Super interesting to see where they are now. I mean, what a journey it has been with DFlow, but interesting to see that they actually became a real competitor in the space. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, what do we have now? We have, I mean, DFlow, and then who's the other what aggregators? Because they're an aggregator,
Titan.
correct?
Yeah, Titan as well, and
Yeah, and
DFlow is
Titan.
quite unique in their sort of intent solver architecture. So it's and I think they gave a very nice presentation at the MEV day, the
Mm,
day preceding Breakpoint. They had some valid points on overcoming the now what do we call, like, not just MEV but spoofing attacks, and people trying to kind of do an atomic arb or sandwich attack by
yep.
malicious validators. So they had the system where instead of having to feed a route to the aggregated program, you could literally build the route on chain. So you can have like maybe top five possible routes go in, and then you kind of execute those real time. So you kind of figure out or kind of try to simulate the result right in the program. So you don't have to kind of feed a or pre-approved route, which can then be manipulated. But now you're literally trying to kind of just find enough incentive to not have
Sorry about that.
any sort of external entity affect your execution outcome on a swap route. So they've had some good ideas, and I think it all comes down to runtime limits, which we should talk about in a bit.
Mm,
And yeah, DFlow is on a roll to fix all of the issues plaguing the Solana ecosystem in terms of MEV attacks and even spoof fails through not established access, but even prop AMMs are kind of alleged to be cheating in some form. So um,
I've
I
seen the report. Yeah.
exactly. So there are a lot of things that needs to improve on the aggregator front, and I think all of the teams at their Jupiter, DFlow, and Titan are working towards those. But yeah, DFlow showed some good intent, and they've had some ideas which should be turning into implementations soon.
Yeah. And then it looks like there was a little bit of a pump and dump. I just wanted to make the community aware, but looks like that Redwood JS collapsed. Somebody had created a token for the Redwood JS, as in like JavaScript framework. And I guess the team had received, some money from it, but then they came out promptly and said that there would never be a token associated with it. So Unfortunate, but some people do seem to fall for some of these pump and dumps. So be careful out there. It's still happening now where these projects are kind of coming out with what is essentially a meme token, saying they're associated with a project when in reality has nothing to do with the team or underlying tech of whatever sorts, even if it's a framework like that. But moving into overview of Flash Trade, we wanted to highlight this week Loop Scale's dominance. So Loop Scale right now, even though we love all of our partners, but right now on Loop Scale, FLP is dominating the charts for loops. So if you haven't yet, check out, looks like FLP4, FLP1, and FLP2 are really dominating. There is actually FLPR on here also on the second page. There's just, I couldn't fit it both on here. So on the second page, FLPR is also dominating. I mean, you could see across the board, even when you go to the second page, page 2, FLP is dominating across the board for the loops. And that is really great to see. Loop Scale is such a great product. Their looping product is amazing. Everything's done atomically in one transaction. So everything is safe there. And then overall, their product in general is probably, I would say, is one of the best in the industry alongside Carrot. So those two really have a lot of opportunity with yield farming. If your stable or if your LP tokens are sitting in your wallet stagnant and you're not utilizing your FLP, this is a great opportunity to jump into Loop Scale, Carrot, and then hopefully soon Kamina.
Absolutely. One quick thing I would like to add over there is a few people might have had issues doing a one-click loop or unwinding your existing loop positions.
Mhm.
There's a slight trouble in terms of what we can pack in a transaction, given we're still maybe a few months away from SIMD 296 going live. But overall, if you have any issues kind of operating your loop or managing your existing loop positions, reach out to the team. And I think the best way to unwind your positions would be to mint FLP from Flash and then go in and unwind your positions or add on to your existing positions because we have had some trouble with the recent additions on pool 1 all through like pool 2, 3, and 4. Pool 4 works perfectly fine if you're FLP4. If you're gonna try and loop it across here, it works perfectly fine. But for other FLPs, you might have to do an extra bit of a hop by first minting the tokens on Flash. So yeah, if you've got any sort of troubles, please feel free to reach out either to Loopscale team or to us on Discord, or just open up a ticket on the support section, and we'll take care of it.
Yep. And more than likely, you'll be talking to this guy in the sports section on our website. So if you have interacted there, hi, that's normally me. Uh, so yes, I should respond promptly to your inquiry, but we are always here to support you in whatever way possible. If you prefer Discord, that is perfectly fine. But we do have a help section on the website in the bottom right-hand corner. Just click help. And we have our friendly Fin AI bot that will interact with you first. And then if you do need a human interaction like myself, I will be there promptly to guide you through whatever issue you are facing. If you guys are enjoying this Flash Hour, leave a like. Obviously, follow us on X if you haven't already. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment. We really need to get our YouTube up and running. We appreciate everybody watching on YouTube as usual, and of course on X. So moving into normally a NASA section, but now Zahid gets a shot at it. What did we get done this week?
Quite a few things in different places. So let's start off with number one, the SDK updates for people facing any issues with opening their trades or closing. because LP side interactions worked perfectly fine. We had a lot of partners using the flow to get alongside, but um, few people have had trouble setting up the SDK and configuring the bots to trade or building UIs. Since we now have our referral system a lot more improved, but not a full builder code structure just ready yet. But we are working on improvising the structure, so we made sure the SDK is usable and usable with all of the staking and referral benefits. Earlier we had a lot of weight from the NFT era hanging onto it, which it just got cleared. So now you could have your referrals created. You could build Telegram bots to trade on Flash, and all of it is possible through the SDK. And if you're working on anything on that front, do hit us out. We've seen a few people, a few interesting ideas being built out, like delta neutral trading strategies, which is going to benefit from what we did with the um, funding mechanism, which is also going to come soon. We've done a lot of analysis on those, so that should give us a good head start on new partners coming in and integrating the trading side of Flash.
Yes.
Uh, and then the second biggest update coming in from our partnership with Pyth. Pyth published or finally migrated to a unified feed for RWAs. So right now, and that's only applicable for Pyth Pro, or what we call Laser.
Hmm.
Um, if anyone is being or anyone in the audience is aware of how Pyth operates, they've got this dual structure. So they've got core and pro as two distinct environments. Uh, Pyth core is the older infrastructure that they've had with pull oracles and PythNet, Hermes, and benchmark APIs, and all of it. Um, they still use a split system. So right now, even if you try to trade RWAs on Flash, any of the Remora assets, for instance, when you're trading those, you see a session marker and a timer suggesting like this session is gonna last for so long, and then this next session coming up. So instead of just having traditional hours, we have a 24/5 extended market, which includes post market, overnight, and pre market sessions apart from the traditional hours. Now that's all going to be unified. So right now, if you try to trade in one of those isolated trading hours, you see the charts are broken, or the charts are limited also, right?
Yeah.
If you're
Choppy.
trading in an overnight session, you don't have the context of what happened in the post market session, or in what happens in pre market and how the traditional markets operated. And there were restricted timeframes as well. You couldn't go to, let's say, 1 minute and see the same chart. So it kind of had a broken experience, and we've worked with Pit to improvise on that for quite a bit. So now finally we have a solution in sight, and we'll be bringing it live on the UI very soon. So we now have an extended feed on Laser or Pit Pro, which kind of aggregates all of these trading sessions into one. So you can have like a single chart and a single seamless experience trading 24/5 markets on RWAs.
Yeah.
Huge,
That
huge UX
super.
release.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a super good upgrade for me at least, because yeah, the session based charts, you can have that gap that you see in the chart. So this will just be a great UI UX upgrade for sure. One that I've been looking forward to at least, which I definitely prefer having like that unified chart. The new Epoch and new VP program. So if you guys are unaware, their Epoch just ended. Anybody who hasn't collected their FAF rewards from the VP program can do so now. But with this new Epoch rolling out, we have a kind of new VP program as well, which Zaheb can explain a little bit more about.
The biggest change in terms of structure was towards the VP allocation. So earlier, through the epochs, we would have one VP allocated for $1 in volume, that has been bumped up to 10. So if you do $10 in volume, that is when you would accrue one VP. This was done in proposition to our change, where we have this allocated VP for FLP integration, right? So LPs were on a shorthand in terms of the overall distribution of VP, and that has been restructured now to be more balanced, based on reviews of the last two epochs. So now, LPs and traders have equal chance at garnering VP and like having a fair share of the FAF rewards at the end of the epoch. Bear in mind, this was our ninth epoch reward distribution that went in. So now we are at the start of epoch 10, and it is also time perhaps for Faftarchy 2.0 that's soon gonna be announced, and I think Max is gonna be following up on it in a bit. But yeah, that was the whole structure. We now have um, more balanced VP allocation for traders and LPs, and that's available for reference in the docs. $10 in volume would correspond to one VP, and that's
Mhm.
standardized across all markets. So that's the structural change, and I think that's gonna be followed by Faftarchy 2.0 proposal coming soon.
Yes,
Can't say
absolutely.
more.
Formulating the last bits of that proposal, but yes, there will be a proposal coming soon for our FAF holders. So look forward to that. But the new VP structure just makes it more fair across the board for everyone involved. And each epoch, we make sure that we study the data and make the best decision possible to kind of not give anybody an advantage over somebody else. So the LP providers still have a say in the game when it comes to the leaderboard. I know I did not get quite as high this time around for the leaderboard, which I was bummed about, but that's just because I had provided a little bit more LP and was too busy to really trade this month. So unfortunately, I was pretty low on the totem pole this epoch, but I'm looking to trade my way back up to the top, be at the top of those leaderboards. But SimD 339 and also MagicBlock. So this is a proposal by Anza, I believe, and it is I believe it passed. I think if I have
Yeah.
reference to this, it did pass, and this is huge for MagicBlocks as far as our integration, something really that we needed to kind of enable magic actions. But Zahaib has a way more context in this, so I will shut up and let him speak.
This is the thing we've been talking of for quite a bit, right? The two SIMDs, SIMD 0296 and 0339. So this SIMD just got approved and it's live on DevNet. It was just the last epoch when we got this activated. This allows, or this increases the CPI account limit from 64 right onto 255, and that kind of quadruples the amount of accounts or unique accounts you can have in a single CPI instruction call. How does it connect with MagicBlock is that there's a special set of instructions in the whole Magic Block setup, which are called Magic Actions. Magic Actions are specialized like handler invocations, which you can request. So when you have commits or undelegations, which are transmitting data from the ER back to base chain, you could have an automated invocation go alongside. So that's what Magic Actions empower you with. And the biggest benefit that we've had here is now we are not limited by number of accounts that we can transmit and use for our instructions, which means a lot of ease in terms of having FLP minted, for instance, because now trading operations are all done on the ER. Our biggest trouble has been figuring out a way to make it atomic and
Yeah.
not lose out on composability. where you have to wait for things to be processed, where you initiate it on the base chain, and the ER needs to kind of wait for the transactions to finalize, and then go in and verify the state, and then kind of do an action in reverse. So kind of this allows us to not wait for or split it into multiple different transactions and have it all combined into one, and increase the number of assets we can support, because 255 accounts is a whole lot.
Oh yeah.
Even if you have 100 assets in a pool, we could still accommodate all of it going in at once.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest unlock which it gives, alongside Magic Blocks having a lot higher limit for all runtime executions than base chain. All cross communication now will also benefit from this higher account limit. But that's the good part of this SIMD being live on DevNet. But there's also a caveat, where the accompanying SIMD to have a higher number of
Still need
accounts
one more.
in the yeah the SIMD 296 that we
Yep.
have wanted. Uh, that sadly has been finalized to go in the 4.0 release. So right now we are at the 3.1 release for the Solana uh, client,
Hmm.
and Anza is planning SIMD 296 to only be activated uh, after 4.0 is released in public. So, which means the general adoption is going to take some time. I think we're looking at end of Q1 or probably start of Q2, March to April kind of a time frame for those things to hit DevNet and finally get mainnet activation.
Yeah.
Um, but SIMD 339, it has reached DevNet. I think a lot of people are trying to validate and find cases where it kind of messes up something, but we should see mainnet activation in a week's time. And alongside that, we should also have a lot of our Magic Block infra ready to hit prod in isolation at least, and kind of give us a good testing spree. So that's where we are with the whole SIMD and Magic Block situation, kind of improving or getting one step closer to the ideal solution.
One
But
step closer. For sure. GM Tom, appreciate it. Just real quick on the Magic Block thing. So this definitely is a massive unlock as far as like assets that can be in the pool, but um and of course with the ephemeral roll up, but yeah, like Zaheb had expressed to me before, the other proposal is also that will be coming, I guess, with what 4.0 is also the odd thing about this is that they both kind of go hand in hand. It's like yin and yang. They really synergize together better than they are separate. So the real unlock will definitely be that 4.0. I think that's the unlock across the board for everybody. So this won't be just for flash trade, but as far as for our use case, this will unlock. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, Zaheb. I'm speaking out of turn here, but it'll unlock for greater composability across the ER and make sure that nothing breaks there and everything goes smoothly. But also, it'll allow for 100 assets per pool that would work seamlessly with composability across the ecosystem as well. So it's kind of once these both are live, the unlock for pool to peer model is massive, because you're talking about just a astounding unlock as far as assets that would be able to be listed and backed.
absolutely. And I think the bigger unlock here, even on our pools right now, has been use of address lookup tables, which allows us to pack more in a single transaction. But that has presented its own troubles. For instance, the first issue we spoke about with loop scale kind of comes from the same bottleneck, because we are using 50 accounts, for instance, to mint liquidity on let's say pool 3, even pool 2. Pool 1 is like slightly under, maybe 46, for now. All of these accounts take up space. And then if you're trying to interact with a looping platform like Loopscale, you got to also borrow liquidity. So you have additional accounts which come in forms of the token accounts, token account for the vault where the loan is going to be realized from, and then you have to track state. Then you have like a lot more instructions that come in. Your transaction is packed with a lot of data. This limits the number of assets we can list, because if we add more, it's going to break all of those integrations, which is not redeemable. It kind of makes all of those um, end up in a stalemate. You can't even unwrap or kind of unwind your positions and exit, because now the obligation can never be paid off. So in order to avoid all of those like super scary situations, we got to make sure our transactions stay within limits. And what that implies is we got to limit the number of assets we add to each pool. And that is a huge limitation, right? Uh, Ideally, we would want to have a lot more assets across all markets and just list everything without having to think about these limitations. Magic Blocks does open the door, but it comes at a cost where everything needs to be properly adjusted to be compatible, and also kind of move between base chain and ER atomically. And that is where most of our effort is being spent right now, to make sure all of it goes without a hassle.
Yeah, for sure. Big unlocks coming once the SIMD are live, and look forward to that. I think final, like Zahib said, finally in early Q2, hopefully. So everything will be deployed on DevNet and then potentially rolled out to mainnet. Now, what is coming? So Faftarchy 2.0. So Faftarchy 2.0 is essentially just a proposal that will be going live here soon. So look out for that in Flash Labs in our Discord, where we hash it out and talk about the proposal that was brought up by the team, and of course the community input of FAF holders. So if you are, I think it's VP level 3, I believe. So if you're staked and you have the VIP FAF holder level 3, you can participate in the governance structure, where we just hash it out and talk about the good, the bad, the ugly in the proposal area of our Discord. And we really have a good discussion. I quite enjoy these because some people in there are quite contrarian, and they bring up points that I appreciate it, because they're not afraid to bring up points that I'm unaware of, or maybe an angle that I hadn't seen it from before. So I really look forward to the new proposal coming out, and I think the community is going to love the next one that we get to vote on. So, or hopefully
Am I
get to
allowed?
vote on, as long as it's approved.
Am I allowed to give a hint?
Sure, yeah, of course. I mean, everybody's here. Everybody's here for the alpha. So,
Well, time to revisit Futarki 1.0, I guess. Just
mhm.
pay attention to the details of the proposal one, and you might know what's coming with proposal two.
That's right. That's right. If you're a stickler for details, you can definitely pick up on what is coming next for the proposal. But moving on from that, not to give up too much alpha, because I'll actually let it slip. Just knowing myself, funding mechanism phase 3 is actually on DevNet. So just one more time for the community, for their reference. This is a longs pay short, shorts pay long situation. Pool still wins, but stays quasi delta neutral in specific scenarios. So overall, it's a win for traders, it's a win for LPers, and it is a win for the protocol.
100%.
What have we seen so far with the funding mechanism? Where are we at? And maybe give a more deep dive on the actual mechanism itself.
Oh, for sure. Like one of the biggest concerns we have had was LP profitability as well. I think that's been discussed in Discord around different channels as well. That if we have the funding mechanism kind of have payouts from peer to peer to longs and shorts, what happens to the margin fee accrual that actually benefited LPs? We are
Yep.
trying to minimize that, and all of our previous analysis shows there could hardly be any difference to the amount that's going to be paid out to LPs via margin fees, since now shorts, or right now it's an audience we never served. So it kind
Yep.
of brings in a newer set of audience, which is not just going to pay or receive funding, but they're also going to pay the open and close fee. So the overall impact of fees is going to be pretty much similar in terms of scale, but the increased volumes of people trying to do newer stuff, maybe do a delta neutral arb, and then balance out the positions in accordance to how the market reacts. I think that is going to be interesting. And this brings us to the idea of, how do we simulate such things. We've done different stuff on all of these simulations, like take 3 months old data, because right now, that the thing that got us so long to have this implementation live is to get real time data of how V2 reacts. So we have had the margin engine V2 migration done in late November. So that kind of gave us a month and a half. So, like, enough data covering scenarios to simulate all possible outcomes, all possible scenarios of how funding would substitute the current form of static margin fees that we have had. And like all of this time, we've been collecting data and analyzing it and making sure we're able to not just kind of have the current set of markets, but a wider variety of markets. Let's say even BNB, for instance, which is backed by flu mechanism, and delta hedged by BTC. So now you can have people trying to hold spot elsewhere and do a delta neutral arb and receive funding without making any significant difference to LP profitability as it stands today. So the results are in. We do have the system up on DevNet with like Monte Carlo kind of simulations. We have a full strategy to identify what kind of potential vectors can open up. People trying to kind of sneak in and out around the funding windows. All sorts of trick that people play on other
Yeah.
venues. So kind of taking note of all of those, working on improvising the structure, and finally having it live as we kind of proceed towards the final completion of the full V2 release.
Yeah. Yeah. This one's exciting for me. It is the the crescendo, the cherry on top, the pinnacle, right? It's the very top of Margin Engine V2. This has just been such a full sprint for the team, releasing new features, yeah, alongside this. So what a journey it's been just in this Margin Engine V2. I mean, I know for Zahabe at least, this is probably, a bittersweet moment. He has been grinding on this I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think for the better part of pretty much a year. Am I wrong? This is like really coming to the point where your year's work is finally coming to an end. I could assume that, that's probably bittersweet for you too. Like it's just that end moment, where you finally
It,
achieved it.
It kind of is, and I think that's opened up a lot of doors for us. And the reason it got extended for so long is we kind of kept adding so much to it. That improved a lot of our structure. It improved
Yeah,
not just like
100%.
performance and the overall impact of what Flash could do for its users. I think it's made the platform a lot better. A lot of our earlier issues, like be it mobile performance and all of those, were associated with to the structure of how Flash operated as well. We had so much going on. You had price of like unrelated token affecting your position in
Yep.
no way fathomable by a user. So, and that kind of kept the whole system a lot bloated. We've got it to the most efficient method possible.
Yeah.
We've kind of stripped the architecture of all of its like additional nuances, and now we have the final system that's most optimized and it's just ready to go in. And now, as we get to it, the bigger limitation becomes the runtime limits again. And I think we're in a
Always
position
comes
where
back to that.
exactly. So you kind of you push all that you've got, and then you kind of hit a stone wall in terms of how runtime operates, and that is
Yep.
where Magic Blocks kind of bought that hope, and now we have the relevant SIMDs insight and a potential plan to have them live and enabled. So kind of everything coming together. It's definitely bittersweet, and it's also I think glass chewing season again on Solana.
Yep, absolutely. With the new possibilities come new explorations. So that's just the way it goes with software development and engineering as a whole. Expanding Forex perps with Degen mode. So look forward to the breadth of Forex on Flash Trade significantly expanding over time as we list more and more Forex. And then I think it's safe to say that it's actually a lot of people that may be unfamiliar with Forex, it's actually pretty common to see 500 to 1000x on Forex because of the price movement, as in lack of price movement. So having that 1000x or 500x on Forex is actually not that uncommon, but we are going to be rolling that out for the Flash Trade platform, and look forward to that coming relatively soon. I know that we're exploring different pairs for Forex. So yeah, anything to expand on that, Zahib? I mean, I know you're more plugged in on that side than I am.
One thing that we've been working on is possibility for inversion pairs or pairs that do require like a quote against USD. So normally all assets are quoted in USDs,
In
and then there are some assets that USD is quoted against. For instance, JPY,
hmm
CNY, INR, and all of these forex pairs. But
hmm
it's just about adding that capability. So if you have any asset anywhere in the world which USD is quoted against, we need to be able to list those assets and then have a market for it, which did require quite a bit of a comprehensive update of our pricing engine. And I think that's how it's going to be now. Margin engine V2 comes in, and now it's time for pricing engine V2 to take the front seat. So that's
yeah.
that's been uh, that's been the crux of what's happening with these inverse pairs and just expanding the capabilities of what our margin engine can handle with
hmm
these improvised or kind of extended pricing engine V2. So that's gonna drop in soon as well. We are looking to have it hit prod this week with all of the reviews and drafts coming positive. So that's something to look out for. New market listing also does require like a bit of a comprehensive update on our front for the pricing infrastructure that we have had.
Yeah.
But yeah,
True.
combined with the 24 by 5 feeds and all of the recent improvements from Pit, it's looking great.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. That I know. Obviously, our platforms, powered by Pyth, so we greatly appreciate our partner there. They're one of our closest partners. Obviously, we couldn't do this without them. Their price feeds are absolute pivotal to Flash Trade operating. So appreciate their continued support on that end with getting us the best price feeds available on chain. The spot order books powered by Manifest coming soon. So that's basically for the swap page, but that the order book there would be super cool. That's something that we were kind of we had spoken about. I believe actually we spoke about it a while back. It kind of took a back seat because of margin engine, but now that we've alleviated a lot of engineering effort that has to go into like margin engine, we can refocus some of our efforts on optimizing the front end. Of course, you've seen a massive improvement, but also adding really nice features as far as the order books with Manifest. What's the latest on that?
Manifest is an amazing product to use. The only trouble we have had is to kind of reconcile how the whole system operates,
Hmm.
because Manifest's native UI is a bit of a hassle to operate. Like, I wouldn't call it a landmine, but it's a bit difficult for a normal user to navigate,
Yeah.
and that has prompted us to kind of rewire the whole structure and build something that's more intuitive, to not just put up limit orders on any assets that you would like, but also to kind of set up your own market for it. For instance, if there's no one else quoting on that particular market, you could be the only guy trying to put up orders over there. So yeah, it's about making everyone a potential market maker, for instance. But our idea is to make it such that a single UI serves normal users who are putting in orders to buy or sell an asset, but also for professional market makers trying to set up their own strategies. The Manifest has got a limitless number of features. You've got global USD allocation, so you can just put up USDC and have like multiple orders created from the same capital, which you kind of ends up capitalizing on the first thing that you hit. So you can put up limit orders for BTC, Sol, ETH, all at once using just the same amount of dollars. That kind of a feature is great, but ironing out the UX is what has taken up most of our efforts, and everything. And we
As it
try
does
to
most of the time.
yeah, and all of the team out there kind of ironing it out. Now
Mm.
the trouble has been wiring in the right instructions. There's a whole
Hmm.
setup of like additional validations that are required, and we're trying to keep it like zero cost. So it's about like having all of the infra up, and yeah, huge props for the Manifest team for having built it out open source, and also
Yeah, open
there's
source.
a yeah, and there's like limited set of integrations that have happened over time. The taker side is easier, so we've got a lot of, or I think Jupiter also started including manifest routes only last month on the taker side,
Hmm.
but at least on the makers end, we haven't seen mainstream integrations yet. So this is going to be one of the first, and I think Remora team is also going to follow suit with their release of independent markets to support their assets. So Manifest is going to be a cornerstone of upcoming DeFi activities on Solana, and yeah, we are excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. It'll be another first for Flash Trade. I had come up with an idea for a post. Actually, you might see it coming up, but it was how many things that Flash Trade are actually first at. And believe it or not, it's more than what I thought. We've been the first at a lot of things on Solana, which I was not completely aware of until we were filling it out. But yeah, there's so much that we've actually been first at. So we'll probably make a post here soon, kind of highlighting the different things that we've actually brought forth and on chain on Solana that we were the very first to do. Others might have replicated it later or things like that. There are some things that actually we brought first that no one else has actually done yet, or they haven't rolled it out yet. So still very very interesting. We do like being at the forefront of where blockchain meets new tech. So keep an eye out on Flash. We've got some new firsts coming very soon as well. The flu mechanism, if I'm not wrong, that is actually uh, the first time that's been rolled out on Solana, also, right? I don't know of any. Is there any other on Solana specifically? I should say, because I believe there are some on like Ethereum or something like that that somebody had brought up. But I believe the flu mechanism is quite novel on Solana, right?
It is, and it's not just limited to Solana. I would say, even across EVMs, it's quite unique in its structure. We've had other protocols kind of try to collateralize. We are a single token, so there's no real correlation as such, which takes into place. And even if it does exist, it's not a unified pool ever. So we were the very first to bring it alongside, where you have a unified pool of assets, and then you
Hmm.
can correlate and cross correlate within those listed assets to kind of create entirely new market. So let's say BNB, for instance. The oracle is BNB, but the locking mechanism uses BTC with the correlation factor. So it's a new system which isn't really used by other ecosystems, let alone any other dApp on Solana. So yeah, that's been one of the biggest things, and the system has been audited for so long, but we did take our own sweet time to have it tested and also verified on QA, and that's when we had the confidence of having it put in, and it's been a few weeks with silver performing really well on that note, and
Yeah.
BNB still struggling to find traction, but yeah, it's there if you want to trade.
Yes, BNB is live. That is true. If you're unaware, we have listed BNB, and both silver and gold are both live there for your metals, with more to come soon, I'm sure, in the metal department. But yes, and then of course we do have our stonks, or equities, however you want to say it, depending on where you are in the world. But yeah, all of that is live and ready for you to trade on Flash Trade. The UI is seamless. None of these upgrades that you've seen or that we've talked about today hinder your ability on Flash Trade. So it's not difficult. It's super simple. There's no KYC. Connect your wallet and get trading today. And of course, if you want to be super degen, you can click on degen mode and go up to 500x. User be warned. But other than that, that is not financial advice for sure. But looks like we're at the end of this segment here. We filled up the entire hour. Everyone who joined us, we really do appreciate it. Anas was not here today, so we had Sahib and I just kind of riffing, and I wanted to bring you a more in-depth technical talk, not such high level, kind of getting into the weeds on purpose. So if you don't mind, leave a comment, like this, repost it out, post something interesting that you learned today below with a comment. That'd be amazing. I'd really love to see that, and I'll interact with it, of course. And then the Flash Trade account will interact with it as well. We appreciate anything that you could offer on these live streams, as we do come to you every single week without fail on Mondays, even when we travel sometimes. That was an interesting one out of Japan. But even when we travel, we do try to make it to our flash hours every Monday at 4 p.m. UTC, wherever you are in the world. And of course, we greatly appreciate you tuning in. Is there anything, Zahib, that you wanted to leave them with?
Look out for the proposal coming your way, and yeah, let's keep trading.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Of course, always. Janitor out. I will see you all in the markets.